Okay, good morning. So we are back on the Caesar cipher. This is where we left off before. There is one more thing I want us to do with this. I want us to put another item on here. All right, and this is going to be a slider. Ooh, so we drag a slider over here, and apparently we're going to call this slider underscore CC, and the width is going to be 300. Okay. Yeah, might as well leave the height at 24. No particular worry about that. I can't put a border around it, so it's not going to look in terms of the same on there. Start position is going to be 10, so it lines up with everything else. Value. So the minimum value needs to be 1, and the maximum value needs to be 25. Okay, and we're going to do a start value of 1 on there, step size 1, and it shouldn't be hidden. So this is how far we are going to up and down. I'm going to move our code. We're going to leave it on 1 for the time being because it's going to make it very easy to just check all the letters have moved up the alphabet by 1. Alright, so let's go and do some coding then, shall we? So down at the bottom here, as we to comment on there, CC code. Alright, so the code's going to come in 2 bits, so we're going to do the CC code and we're going to do the CC decode. Alright, so we can give it the full title if you want to, but that's going to be fine in terms of for me here. So we're going to start off by when we press this button here. So it's a user interface control, it's an event that happens. So it's an event-driven software. So we're going to come in here, the button on the home page that takes us to CC. It's this one. Oh, I put a lowercase h in there, so it looks slightly different. So the code is going to come in here. So the first thing I'm going to do is get a message. So I'm going to get the text and I'm going to store it in a variable. Now I've not told the computer what variable I'm going to store it in yet. I'm going to call it in CC mess for CC message, and then I'm going to go and get the data. So notice that the get data hasn't got the little piece at the bottom because it's supposed to go into here like that. Where am I going to get the data from? I'm going to get it from our text input CC code. So it's going to come in from here and it's going to store it into CC mess. I've got a triangle. CC mess hasn't been declared yet. Okay, so the computer's going to have a little hissy fit until I've done that. So let's go to variables. And remember, we declare a variable using the VAR, and I could do CC underscore mess. And what my message is going to be is going to be blank for the time being. Okay, so we're back down to the bottom again, and that's what we're going to do now. Okay, we're going to use our debug console quite a lot on here, but not yet. Alright, so I'm going to now set up another variable, and this is going to be my CC, and this is going to be my message. This is going to be my decoded message. So this is what it's going to be. So this is my cipher. Alright, and I'm going to start off, and my cipher is going to be nothing. It's going to be completely blank. Oh, what's happened over here? There we go. We've not declared it, so let's go and stop it having a hissy fit. And this is going to be CC cipher. Okay, and we'll set that back off at blank blank. All right. So going back down, the reason we're going to do this, obviously if we do more than one message, we need to clear the message at the start each time we do it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a loop, and we're going to do each letter of the message in turn. Okay, so loops are in control, and this is a count controlled loop. So we're going to do a certain amount of times, and the amount of times we're going to do it is going to depend on the length of the message. Alright, so our variable for tradition says we do I in a loop, an iterative loop. So I is going to start off with 0. Alright, then in here we're going to keep going until I is got the length of our CC message. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, and I'm going to type in CC underscore mess dot length. We don't put a capital G. I get length, and then I'll press enter, and there it comes in purple, and it's picked up what it's going to be. And each time it goes through, it's going to pick up the first letter, and then it's going to store it, and then it's going to go to the next letter. It's going to jump up one at a time. If we change that to +2, what will happen here is that it will go, we could count it in 2, 4, 6, 8. If we change it to 3, it will go 1, 4, 7, etc. So it changes how many we can go up. So it's really quite a useful thing to do. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is get our message. Alright, so we are going to do something with our message. We are going to create another variable called CC, and this is our cipher code for that. Just that individual letter is going to be the number on our slider plus what we call the ASCII code of the letter. Alright, so okay, this is like okay, so I'm going to show you now. So I'm going to have a look at the ASCII code. Alright, so here's our ASCII table. Alright, and we can see in here at 65 we've got capital A, B, C going all the way down to 90 with Z, and then 91 goes on to some other characters. Okay, lowercase is 97. I don't really want to be messing around with lowercase letters. Alright, I want it to just stay with uppercase letters. So what I'm going to do here is when I get my message here, I'm going to do something with it. Okay, and when I've got my text here, okay, I want to then turn it to uppercase. So in my variables down here, I've got uppercase. Alright, so I'm going to slot this into here, uppercase. It doesn't matter if it's gone up there. I'm going to chuck that into here, and I'm going to move the whole flipping lot down in here. So now it's going to get my message from whatever we've typed in here. It's going to turn it to uppercase, and it's going to store it in here. And that means that when I'm doing my ASCII code, I only need to worry about 65 to 90, and I can ignore everything else. That's not quite true, but I'm going to show you that later on. So I've got my message in uppercase, I've set my code to 0, and I've got a loop now that it is going to take each letter in turn. Okay, so now what is my cipher going to be? It's going to be whatever the ASCII code is on this. So I'll put a capital A, it will be 65 plus 1, and it will be 66. Okay, so let's get that number. So we're going to add them together. So I'll go and get a maths add. And what do I want in here? I want to get the number from the slider. Okay, so there's get number. What do I want to get number from? From the slider. So it says slider CC. So that's stuck at 1 at the moment, but don't worry about that. And then we need to go and get what is our individual letter. So what letter are we working on at the moment? Alright, so it is going to be a function. And we're going to type it all in here. So we're going to type in cc underscore mess, because that's going to be the message. And we want the character code. We want the ASCII. That's capital C on the second one, and a capital A here. So we want the character code at position I. So let's say our message is A, B, C, D, E. The first time round, the first character is going to be A. Yeah, so it's going to look at that and it's going to say, so what is position A? It is going to be, it's capital A. And what's that character code going to be? It's going to be 65. And then we add 1 onto here, and it's going to make it 66. And it's going to store 66 into C. Okay. Right. Are we okay with that so far? Does that make sense to you? I hope so. Alright, because the next thing that we're going to do now is we're going to add that to our cipher. So let's go back to our cipher and let's go in here. So our CC cipher. Alright, we want an add function here. So we want whatever was in there first, which in the first case was nothing at all. Alright, so it's going to say nothing. And then we want to add to it whatever letter is at 66. So we said it was going to be capital A. We add 1 to it. Okay, so it's going to be 65 is 66. So to do that, we do string from char code and then CC. So we're going to type all of that in. So don't go looking for green and purple. We're going to type it in. All right. So we want string. So string is what in computer term a set of text. So string from, it's capital C here for char and capital C on code. And which letter do we want? We want whatever CC is. Okay, and I press enter, and you can see all that purple and that green comes back into there. Alright, so what's it telling me? CC haven't been declared yet. Okay, and CC haven't been declared yet. So go on then. It's going to nag us. Right, so let's VAR CC. It's a number, so let's just put number. Oh, because CC, and let's put that down as 0. Okay. All right. What we can do now, all right, to see whether it's working, down here is something called console log. Okay. And what we can do in here is I'm just going to delete all that, and I want to type CC underscore cipher. All right. And when I press run, what's going to happen is going to come into here. All right. And it's going to display as it builds up. So let's press run. Let's go to Caesar cipher. It didn't go in. Why didn't it go in? Oh, you twonk. We've not done the navigation, have we? So let's just move this down smaller again. I'm going to go. No, I said smaller. Go on. Git. All right. No, stop it. Oh, flipping out. What are you doing? Right. Okay, let's go back up to my navigation section up here. And I want 2 on events. One to take us to the cyber page and one to take us away from our cyber page. So in here, button on the home page that takes us to CC. Have I done that already? I thought I'd done that already. No, I didn't. So on the button on the home page that takes us to CC, when we click that, I want to go to, which screen is it? The CC screen. Lovely. And when I'm on the button on the CC, which takes us home, what do I want to do? I want us to go home. Okay, so let's try that now. Run. Caesar cipher, take us there. Brilliant. Home takes us back. Lovely. So go back to Caesar cipher and let's check our message. Lowercase a, b, c, d, e. And when I press code, okay, nothing happens. So what's happened down here? Nothing at all. Can't see anything on my debug console. So did it even go in? So button HCC. So when I press button HCC, should have done that. So is that button HCC? Ah, button CC code, you twonk. Right, so let's go back to our code. And so this is what confused me just now. So so we're looking for button CC code. I knew I pressed that button before. Right, let's try again now. Run, Caesar cipher, write message A, B, C, D, E. And we press code, and look, it starts to build off B. So it turned my A into B, it turned B, C, B, D, E. Okay, lovely. Didn't do the last time. So, yes it did. Everything, perfect. Alright, so that code is working spot on. Right now, it's coding. Okay, so let's run it again. Alright, and let's do X, Y, Z. Alright, oh, notice it changed it to capitals. So let's press the code this time, and look, once it's gone past Z, it's gone into these funny characters over here. So we need to stop it from doing that. And it's very, very easy to do. We're going to use an if. Okay? And it's a simple if. Alright? So if our number here is greater than 90, so if CC is greater than 90, right, so remember on here, look, when we got to 90 we stopped doing, we was onto these codes, so we wanted to stop doing that, we don't want it to go over there, we want it to do a takeaway. So a variable, our new value of CC is going to be our old value of CC that's greater than 90, and then we're going to take 26 away from that. And I'm sure you can work out why we're going to take 26 away. Alright, so let's press reset and let's run that again. Here's our Caesar cipher. Alright, and let's go X, Y, Z, and we press code. And look down here now, Y, so it's added one onto the X and there, and it's taking it back to A. I'm sure that makes sense to you now, so it goes back around in that loop. Alright, and we haven't got to worry about all sorts of funny characters. Okay, so what have we got to do with this information now? The console log is lovely because I can see it's worked on here, so I can get rid of that now. Alright, I don't need that anymore. I want it on my screen really, I want it in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my text here. So what text do I want to change? I want to change this one here, which is my label. No, it isn't. It's my text input decode. Yeah. So it's going to say this one just here. And what do I want to change it to? Not the word text. So I press delete, delete again, and then backspace. I want to change it to CC underscore cipher. Okay. All right. So let's reset. Let's run CC cipher A B C D E X. I'm going to put a space X Y Z. I press code, and look, it comes on in here. You can see it moved on. But look, the space has become something stupid. Alright, and I don't want the space to become something stupid. I want it to remain a space. Okay, so what am I going to do? What is a space? So we look on here and we can see a space is number 32 in decimal. It's got my hex in there as well, but it's 32 in decimal. So I'm going to check for that. And I don't want it to do this if it's the number 32. Okay, so I'm going to use an if. And this time I'm going to use an if with an else. Okay, so if, and I'm going to use an equals. To use the double equals because it's not like here where we're telling it was going to be, we're not assigning a value, we're comparing a value. So if, right, so I need to set up CC and then I need to add CC to it. I need this bit first. So I'm going to go to my variable and go to this one. And I'm going to say CC equals this bit. Okay? But then if CC equals 32, if it doesn't equal 32, that's better. So let's get rid of that. If it doesn't equals this one, if CC doesn't equal 32, then I want to change it. And I want CC to do the plus that we just got rid of down in here. I could have just put that in there, couldn't I? You twonk. Right, so let's move that and put that in there. CC is our number on the slider plus CC. Okay, and otherwise we can get rid of it. We don't need to do anything if it's 32. It won't do that on there. That should all work. Okay, so let's reset and run Caesar cipher A, B, C, space, X, Y, Z, press code, and there you go, I've got the space in there, and that seems to be working perfectly. Okay, I'll leave you for that one now, and we'll do another video in a second.